So, wir sind jetzt auch live.
Okay, wie mache ich denn das? Schickst du mir den nochmal über Slack?
Link?
Im Chat oder ich lasse es einfach laufen, ne?
Ich schicke den Chat nochmal über Slack. Einen Moment.
Where's the DJ?
Hi, Illuminatty.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Illuminatty?
Good.
Oh my goodness, so many people.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Taking the stage. Feel?
I'm so tired.
No, I'm Illuminatty.
It is. Oh wow. And
Bunch of people actually.
you've run a lot of events. You have a green part.
Yeah, I've events
So you're all set?
moderate things like that.
Wie los?
World
Probably
building.
know Dana Maria.
Names familiar?
Captain VR.
Hello, good evening, guys. We will start the talk in about 5 minutes. So, yeah, have a seat. And, well,
Die gebroadcastet? Haben die gebroadcastet?
Nein, noch nicht. Ich meine, Sie haben ja nichts gesagt.
Checking my batteries.
Ja, aber das siehst du ja auch, wer gebroadcastet wird.
Get hydrated. Don't forget to
Man kann
hydrate.
nicht einfach so in die Hostzone reingehen, das nach den physischen Standpunkt, wo du gerade bist.
Do all the things.
Euch beide hört man übrigens auch überall. Markus. Dich hört man auch überall.
Right.
Ja, aber nicht irgendwie voll,
Ja.
oder?
Space actually. Oh, nice. Nice. Are you on a quest? That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Are you new to VR?
Können sie nicht.
Yeah. The last couple of days.
Oh, wow. Welcome.
Stage
Fresh.
Process nicht an.
Yeah.
And
Fresh
he
meat.
accidentally
Yeah.
teleported.
Teleport. Oh, no.
He's all
That'll
exit
happen.
stage left. I'm out of
Yeah,
here.
that'll happen.
Jeez. Guys.
I like the space. It's
There
the
you are, yeah, did you
Hey.
teleport?
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I didn't press
Yeah,
anything.
hello.
Oh, okay.
It looked like a teleport by
Hi.
accident.
grüß
yeah.
dich, na, wie geht's
Just
dir?
thought
Happens all the
Natasha was
time.
like, one day I'll manage to click on something without teleporting.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be
Yeah.
Tom
Um,
Wiedemann.
But yeah, I like the space, the vibe, the size of it.
Hallo.
It's really
Da spricht jemand zu dir.
Yeah, it's
Hello.
good space.
yeah.
Aber,
Stefanie.
hallo.
The col-
Hallo. Ich habe eben erfahren, dass wir uns kennen.
Tun wir das?
Oh,
Well,
I'm
Ja,
actually,
über Hendrik Behrens.
on stage in a moment.
Oh.
Das
Illuminati
stimmt
got those
tatsächlich.
speakers.
Das ist ja
Ah.
verrückt. Aber wie hast du das? Wie hast
But
du
we could
das
grab
Ich weiß nicht,
erfahren?
ob ich
here.
das schon
I'm gonna.
Ich habe das erfahren
could hang
gerade
out over
über
here.
Philips.
Ja, hallo.
Hallo.
Oh, ja, genau. Du bist ein Freund von ihm? Ja.
Jetzt kann ich hören, ja. Ja. Ist es.
Interessant. Aber also in
Du warst
Wohnwagen.
ja schon bei
Ah,
den
du
mal
bist
hier, ne?
Deutsch.
It's cool because the audio
Genau,
is kind of
ne?
spatialized, so you can
Deswegen habe ich.
hear where
bin
people are
Yeah.
coming from.
Und
You
Ja.
know?
Yeah,
das war so cool. Und dann haben wir gesagt, komm, das machen wir jetzt.
Die
Und dann habe ich
Veranstaltung
mir so ein
aufmerksam geworden
Quest 2
bist.
gekauft und jetzt sind wir sozusagen
Das ist
unabhängig.
folgendermaßen, und zwar
Ja.
habe
Das macht doch echt Spaß, ne?
Genau.
this is so
Ja.
weird. Like,
darüber
Ja.
von dem Event
are you,
Ja.
how are you on Quest as well?
gesehen.
I'm actually on a riff.
Bei mir kriegt man immer
Yeah,
irgendwie.
but I like the quest. The quest is like it's just more convenient for me because I'm already at my computer and I'm doing related things, and so I just put on my riff. Yeah.
So like, is this mainly just used for like events and stuff? Is it like main stuff about?
Yeah, I mean, I think within it's an open world, so people do different kinds of things in there. Some people use it for kind of conferences, but some other people like doing meditation and music. And in fact, that's I think what Illuminati is going to be talking about today. Is just like one of the things she does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try VR chat later today.
Well, so VR chat, the one thing I can tell you is that each metaverse has its own vibe, you know, has its own culture. And Altspace is kind of this friendly, you know, everyone's safe kind of place. And then VR chat is more like, let's go crazy and be as creative as we possibly can and just kind of act a fool, and it's a little bit more comedy, a little bit more. It's a lot of trolling that happens to do, so keep an eye out for that.
I don't know where my right hand's gone.
Where's your right hand go?
Die Rüstung muss ja in der Welt nicht sein, nur wenn
I was so scared. I was
What happened to my hand?
it's gone.
Hello and welcome to our X Night in January. First of all, I hope that you're all doing good. It is really a great pleasure for us to have you. The X Night is a series of events, a monthly meetup, and this event is hosted by VM People. We are specialized in new digital forms of storytelling, and my name is Thomas Zorbach, and I'm the founder of this company. Our home is in Berlin, the capital of Germany, and that brings me directly to the topic of our talk today. Normally, Berlin is a city that is extremely popular as a travel destination. I assume that some of you have already been here before. We have world-famous sites like the Brandenburg Gate. We got countless museums and galleries. We got also great parks. However, we are very well aware of the fact that many young people only come here for one reason. They want to party. Berlin has always been one of the hotspots in terms of electronic music. The Berghain is one of the most famous clubs in the world. But like almost everywhere else, unfortunately, the nightlife in Berlin has been shut down in March last year. Well, the darker the times get, the more important it is that there are stories that give us light and hope. Our guest today has one of these stories to tell. Here at Allspace VR, she has a lot of fans, like myself, for example, and I'm very delighted that she is here tonight. Dear guests, please welcome DJ Illuminatty.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Thank you. My name is Natasha Murray. You may know Illuminatty. I'm a VR DJ, artist, and event producer, and I've been DJing in VR and creating events in Altspace, Wave, Sansar, Neos, and Twitch for a while. And you may already have a few questions about that. Well, what exactly is a VR DJ or artist, and how did you get to that point? And it's a bit of a complicated and long story. I'll start with the fact that I've been a visual artist since I was very young, and Los Angeles to San Francisco about 10 years ago to go to art school. My major was in new media and web design, and I quickly learned that web design was not necessarily my passion, but that I was fascinated by the digital arts, design, videography, motion graphics, and photography. Before I graduated high school, I began to fall in love with electronic dance music, and I started to go as many shows as I could. And during my time in art school, I took a music production course and began to take an interest to learn how to make mixes in a DJ software with my laptop. I began daydreaming of the type of DJ I would become, but I never really was able to take it further than a laptop mouse because I was intimidated at learning how to use such complicated equipment and then having to buy it all at a price I couldn't afford during college, which was just not something that was feasible at the time. After that, I worked some years in design videography for nonprofit organizations and word-of-mouth clients. And about 3 years ago, I went through a period of isolation that strongly affected my ability to interact with others. And I just wanted to find a way to connect and talk to strangers on the internet the same way that I did when I went to a club or festival, but all I could find were toxic chat rooms and weirdos that would ask me for my age, sex, and location. But one day, I actually happened upon an app called Altspace VR, and I was able to use my MacBook way back in the day to actually interact with the people around me, and I learned all about different VR apps from the people in Altspace, including all sorts of art apps, such as Oculus Medium and Tiltbrush and Kingspray. And people told me about the headsets that they were using and being really friendly, so by that point I was really sold on virtual reality in general. And I was in dire need of a new computer at the time, so I made the switch to a PC and bought myself a VR headset. And after that, I started sculpting using my VR headset, and these are artworks that I did during the month of January 2018. And basically, I was tasked with doing a sculpt a day using this program, and I decided to do that, and it was a great learning experience, and I learned a lot. I hadn't had any sculpting experience before that, so that was quite a journey. It was an awesome thing to learn. I met a lot of great people along the way. I promise I'll get to DJing at some point, but it does tie back in, I promise. So this is what it looks like to actually sculpt in VR. This is me sculpting, a classic art piece that we all recognize. And yeah, so I began to experiment with, just creating things in VR in an artistic way. And after a certain point, I was invited to be on this show called Road to Tokyo, where we were tasked with sculpting an object in 10 minutes as a competition. And actually, that's my friend who I practice with night and day before this competition. And of course, they pit us against each other the first round. We were tasked with sculpting infinite fire in this clip, and as you can see, I'm sculpting a caveman here. So yeah, that was a great experience. I met a lot of amazing people, some industry professionals who have been sculpting for a very, very long time, and was very honored to be sharing a screen with them and sharing a platform with them and getting to meet them and getting to know them. So I was runner-up for this competition, which would have won me a trip to Tokyo. And then after that, I would have had the chance to win a lot of money. But the guy that beat me actually ended up going on to win a lot of money in Tokyo, and I'm really happy for him because it was a great experience just all around, and he's still a friend of mine to this day. So I kind of went home after that competition, and I decided to try something else, and I happened upon TribeXR. So TribeXR is a real-life simulation, or virtual reality simulation of a real-life deck. It's a simulation of the DJM 900 mixer and the Nexus 2000 CDJs. And I didn't know a whole lot about, the equipment, but I knew enough to know that it was a pretty good simulation of what having a real deck would be like. So I decided to start learning how to use TribeXR, and I thought, well, if I could learn how to sculpt in VR, why not learn how to DJ? So I began to practice with some of the house music that I had loved over the years, and I quickly fell in love. And soon after, I met Ozan, who is the mastermind of Tribe and also a lifeline to the TribeXR community. He's super helpful, and I think he's in the audience just over there. Yep, there he is. I'll invite him on stage to speak a little bit more about Tribe later. And fortunately, Tribe's headquarters were less than 10 miles away from where I live, so Ozan and the Tribe team and I became fast friends, especially because we shared such a passion for the software. And they began to ask me to attend conferences to demonstrate as a true community member who learned how to DJ in VR. And from there, doors started to open to me more, and here's a little bit about how that started. And this is a little bit more about Tribe itself. So this is actually back to back. So we are actually in two different places at once, DJing at the same time and hearing the same thing and experiencing the same thing. Yeah, so that's a little bit about the basics of how to use the app. And here's a little bit of my journey. This is just a few days after I started to learn to mix. This is the radio show that they used to host every Wednesday. Here's me at a conference kind of demonstrating a DJ battle. Here's me at a real-life nightclub in San Francisco called City Nights, which has obviously since been shut down by COVID, but this was around October of before COVID started. And people were kind of just flabbergasted. They didn't really know what to expect. They were asking me what I was doing in the DJ booth, and I was like, that's me up there. And I'm DJing live with this software. And then I started getting asked to DJ for real-life events, once again before COVID started, you know, in places across the world such as Toronto, Spain, Georgia. And then I got contracted by a company called Virtual Sports, an entertainment center in Seattle. And they basically asked me to be their virtual remote DJ for their actual physical location. And we wanted to move along with plans that would include having an alt space room that was dedicated for that. This is actually me in Seattle, right after COVID started, wearing a mask and DJing in real life in front of their real setup. Here's me in Evolver in alt space. And here's me at my own event, which I've been doing every Thursday since January, and doing live DJ mixes with the team at Virtual Sports. So that includes Zach, Jake, and Alex, who eventually, when Virtual Sports shut down, ended up coming to just volunteer their time to work on this show with me. So this is the Thursday show where we kind of showcase what we're doing each week. And actually, this space here was built by Liam, who is here on the side, and I designed it in collaboration with him, and we built the space together. So this is the new space that we built together, and this kind of brings us back to, you know, the kind of artistic expression side of what I love about VR. I wanted to start to tell more stories with my art. And so at some point, a little bit after learning Tribe, I found an app called Wave. And the resident DJs there welcomed me with open arms. You know, it's a platform that allows you to bring your own custom models into the environment and set them up for a VJ to manipulate during your set. So it really feels like a real live show, and you're actually designing the environment and playing the music into it. That was clips from the first ever VR Burning Man, which was created by VRA Live and myself. We worked together to conceptualize the first ever Burning Man event in VR. And with the help of the resident DJs and almost 40 artists, we created a 3-hour community organized experience inspired by Burning Man. This one is my own show. This is some of my own work that I started to do after that. I think I'm going to go through this video again just because, oops. Just want to showcase the Burning Man part. These are some of the pieces that all of the different artists came together to create. And this was pre-COVID, alt space Burning Man, and it was just kind of dawned on me that this is the way, you know, to kind of bring an experience to people in VR, bring music and bring art at the same time. So I started doing my own shows, and this is one of my pieces here, the party bus. And this is one of my other shows called Mind Control, where it was kind of hidden knowledge based and kind of telling a story of just mind control in general and how that affects you, especially in VR. So I created this as a replica of Times Square, and I used Tilt Brush and Oculus Medium, and then I brought that into Wave and performed my show in there. And this is, yeah, one of my favorite stages, unfortunately. I think I need to rebuild it because it's got a lot of polygons. All these were hand painted and brushed. Everything you see is done by hand. So this is another club that I did. I also brought this into Sansar, which is another VR platform. And here is a crop field that I made using Tilt Brush. I sculpted each of those leaves by hand. And in this show, I kind of wanted to tell a story of an alien abduction. So we start out on this quiet farm, and then suddenly an alien comes by and abducts you and leaves a crop circle in crops, and you get taken on a journey to, you know, see the world and then go to space eventually. So yeah, this was one of my shows that was the only one that I actually felt like I feel like I'm actually telling a story, like almost like it's a movie. So it's a 1-hour experience, and each scene goes about 5 minutes, and then it switches to the next, and you're transported to the next place. So here you find out the aliens are cats, which I am also a cat in Wave. And here is a bar that I created also with the help of Liam. It is designed after a bar in LA called Red Line. And I worked with the owner of the bar to try to design the most realistic experience possible. And here's me actually DJing using the Tribe decks inside of Wave XR. So that's a kind of another thing that I'll mention soon, is that I've figured out a way to use Tribe XR and any other app simultaneously, which is how I do my Thursday shows. So that's how it looks so much like I'm actually interacting with that model when I'm actually seeing Tribe in front of myself during that time. Here's a piece that actually Liam and I collaborated on again for this year's Burning Man. I was tasked with organizing the Empyrean Temple event and bringing the temple to Wave with their venerated objects and to lead them to the official Empyrean Temple experience. So that was really wonderful, and I just find this temple so beautiful. They did a really great job building it. So these are some of the venerated objects, and they're decorated by tilt brush and controlled by a VJ who can change the rotation, the lighting, the color of the lighting, and everybody here is listening to live music. This is a few more screenshots of the red line, just because I feel like the clip was a little dark. These are murals that exist in the real space, and I tried to make sure that it was as realistic as possible. Some people that have actually been here said that they felt like they were walking into the real thing, so that was a major compliment. Oops, and I teleported through the media console. Here is an example of what we do on the Thursday shows. What you see here is me and Tribe, but actually you'll see that my POV sees AltSpace. So this is kind of another example of what I was talking about when I'm occupying two VR apps at once. I'm in Tribe, but I can see AltSpace, and I can switch back and forth at whenever I feel like it's convenient. So yeah, that way I can actually interact with my crowd, see what they're doing, see if they're dancing, and give off some emotes to let them know that I see them too. So that's my favorite part about the Thursday shows. Also, you know, not to mention the fact that Jake from the Dream Team, which is our little team that we call ourselves the Dream Team, Jake is the broadcast director, Alex is a camera operator here in Sansar, Zach is a live VJ that's actually broadcasting visuals behind me, and I'm DJing, and this is all done live, and we are in Sansar as an app and AltSpace as an app and on Twitch. So we're trying to basically connect all of the different parties together with one model, one party, one DJ set, you know, and try to make it as interactive as possible to try to bring the experience to as many people as we can. Here's another party in Sansar, in the club that you might recognize that was also in Wave. It's a little different. I put the platform in the center instead of having a swimming pool. And here's some of the events I've done in Wave. You may recognize this stage. It's the one downstairs. Some folks from Immersive X over here. And up here you can see back in the day when Ozan and I were first exploring the back-to-back feature and being in AltSpace at the same time, back when we had legs. So that was probably about May or June or something like that. And we also had the opportunity recently to link up with Beatport and actually do a live stream for them. There was, I think, 8 DJs or 9 DJs that ended up spinning for Beatport, and we had upwards of 10,000 viewers at times. It was a really wonderful experience, and once again, the Dream Team kind of came through to make sure that people in AltSpace could enjoy it as well. And that's another thing about Tribe, is that Beatport is integrated into it so that you can actually use Beatport Link to bring your tracks in, so you don't have to download hundreds of dollars worth of music, you know, all the time. You can just get a 1-month subscription, see if you like it, and try Tribe out. This is actually one of the events that we're starting to do every Sunday now. Ozan and I demonstrate how to use Tribe here in AltSpace, actually in a model that resembles exactly the inside of the Tribe room. And not only that, But with this new configuration that Ozon and the Tribe team have put together, we're able to actually speak to the video here as if it was a video conference. So we can see you from Tribe into AltSpace and talk to you with absolutely no latency and show you exactly what you want to learn and show you exactly, let you listen to exactly what you want to hear in real time. So that's what we do every Sunday now, and I'm really excited for these events because it's only going to get better and better. We've only done 2 of them so far. So far they've been a great success and a lot of fun. And back-to-backing with Ozon is always, a blast. So yeah, that is about it. These are the events that I suggest you check out if you want to learn more. Thank you guys so much for your appreciation and claps. I really appreciate it. I just want to say in conclusion, I became a VR DJ because it was a powerful way to express myself in VR and bring a much needed positive environment to people in the midst of everything that's going on right now. So art and music are the 2 things that people really need and want, and virtual reality is becoming more and more affordable and accessible every day. And I really believe that VR today is laying the groundwork for the future to come, and we're no longer looking at screens with rectangles within rectangles anymore. We're looking around us and grabbing things and throwing them away. And when AR technology and other sci-fi inventions start popping up, we may be wearing glasses or contacts or nothing at all and still interacting with the world in a 3-dimensional way. So what happens in VR now and the way we learn to interact with it and contribute to it is more important than ever. Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Natasha, for sharing your story with us today. Really, really appreciate it. Very inspiring. My first question to you before we give the audience the opportunity to ask a question is, if I would find it a good idea being abducted by an alien, where would I have to go? Is it possible to see this show again?
Well, unfortunately, this is kind of some new news just as of yesterday or the day before. Wave will no longer be operating very soon, partly because Google Poly is shutting down, and that is the way that you bring models into the platform. So for now, Wave will have to go, but we might see other things such as Neos, VRChat, AltSpace. More and more opportunities are opening all the time to have these sorts of experiences, and the Wave resident DJs are migrating over to Neos VR. So if you want to check out something similar to that, check out Neos VR.
All right. So who has a question in the audience?
I'd also like to invite Ozon up to the stage too, because as the Tribe expert, if you have any questions specifically about Tribe, he might answer them better if you have a Quest or if you have a Vive, because I have a Rift CV1. So yeah, the mastermind himself. Are you on speakerphone?
No, I'm here. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me, but hello. Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Welcome.
Yeah, I'll also happy to answer questions. Say a word about Tribe.
Would you be kind enough to share a little bit about yourself? And about
sure. Too? Okay, yeah. So my name is Ozan. I'm one of the founders of Tribe, and the reason why we started Tribe was to empower aspiring artists. I myself also have an art background. I'm also based in San Francisco, as Illuminatty said, and San Francisco is, sort of the heart of Silicon Valley, and the sort of entrepreneurial startup journeys are really common, and that's sort of where I sort of flowed into that whole phenomena, that cultural phenomena. So a couple of years ago, with my co-founder, started Tribe. I previously have a background in computer graphics and working at Pixar, working on feature films. I also worked at a virtual reality company called High Fidelity, and have a deep passion for music and trying to find my way and kind of saying, well, look, how do I bring something I'm truly passionate about that really genuinely gives me happiness in life with some of the kind of requirements of living, which are just, making money and paying bills and being a kind of a contributing to society in some interesting way. And this seemed like the right thing to do because it has it all. And I do hope that others also kind of relate and benefit to this, in that, hey, other aspiring artists want access to tools and equipment like the CDJs, and they want access to the knowledge of how to play and to perform, and they want to find their creative voice. And if we can do anything to give folks a channel and the tools to be able to do that, then we can kind of declare victory, and kind of say that we spent our time in life doing good work. And that's a little bit, Illuminati is a bit of an inspiration for us, because she has kind of followed that arc that she had been wanting to DJ for a long time. And I think, we shared some of that same context and experience in San Francisco with the Dirty Bird crew and the sunset parties, and just going to those wonderful events and wanting to be behind the decks and wanting to actually come up with an experience and share that with others. And for you to be able to then kind of cross that threshold by virtue of having access to the virtual equipment, building your confidence, building your knowledge, and then building a name for yourself, and then actually buying the physical hardware, playing live shows, that's a wonderful kind of story to be a part of. And so that's sort of what we want for others in the community as well. So that's a little bit about me and about Tribe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll
Sorry
open the
to
floor to any
interrupt.
questions.
We have to work a little bit around with the hand raise feature, because it seems as it is broken. So if anyone has a question, he's invited to go on stage and to speak. So it is broadcasted in all rooms, and in all instances there are hosts that enable the people to speak. Please speak only if we tell you so.
Yeah, sorry everyone. Yeah, if you just come up sort of one by one. If you have a question, you can still use the emote to raise your hand. And then if we pull you up on stage, but just one by one, please. Otherwise, okay, we've got one person without a hand raised.
Hey there.
Nick, have you got a question?
Hi.
There we go. Hi, Nick. Right, let's unmute Nick so Nick can speak. Where are you on the list, Nick? Sorry, bear with me, Nick. There we go. You should have the megaphone now.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, hello. Yeah, thank you for your talk. Very interesting.
Oh, sorry.
I would be interested. Can you hear me?
Sorry, Tom.
I think
One
Nick
second.
is first.
Yeah,
Maybe
Tom,
we
you
could,
can't speak because he's on a
throw him
separate
under there.
instance.
No
Yeah, that's
worries.
okay. Yeah.
So, thank you for the presentation, Illuminati. I was really impressed by
Nick?
by how you DJ in a platform like this live. I wondered how do you do that? I always saw like you had to use pre-recorded videos. Is that true or not?
No. So essentially, it is a simulator for a DJ deck, a real DJ deck. So, would you mind muting yourself when you're not talking? Because there's just a little feedback going on. Thank you. So it actually simulates a real DJ deck, and you use your Oculus controllers or Vive controllers to manipulate the controls, and by grabbing the knobs and pushing the buttons. But it is, for all intents and purposes, a real simulation. It is as close as possible to the real thing, and I've learned how to DJ on real decks as a result of using Tribe. So it's very much a functional, working deck.
That sounds amazing. So you actually DJ with controllers?
Exactly.
Wow. So I want to invite some friends over that are DJ to this platform. Is there any way that I can get them in touch with you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to expand on it, and as I mentioned, mentioned. It's inspired by the TJ 2000 and Nexus 900, which is club standard equipment. And I'm happy to share keys if anybody wants to give it a try. By all means, message me either through Illuminatty, maybe connect with me on Altspace, but I can get you a key whether it's on the Quest, Rift, or on Steam. Give it a try, and it'd be wonderful to get your feedback and get the party started.
And you can also check out Illuminatty.net if you have any more questions, or tribexr.com, right?
Yeah, tribexr.com,
Okay,
and also you can join our Discord, which is discord.gg/tribexr, something like that.
Thank you. That's great. I will bring them in.
Awesome.
And I will try it out myself.
Excellent.
Thank you.
It's also multi. Probably worth mentioning. So one of the things we spent a lot of time on over the past several months is making the multiplayer functionality like just sort of optimized. And anyway, you can get two up to honestly, I have workshops where there's up to 16 people in a room, all hanging around the decks, all being able to interact, all playing music as if you're in a real room, in a real studio with a classroom of people, all behind the decks, being able to talk and interact with the equipment. So multiplayer.
So, Tom, do you want to come back to stage?
Yeah, thanks again. I didn't hear his question, but I heard the answer. So my question was pretty much aimed in the same direction. First of all, thanks again for your talk. Very interesting. And I would be interested in how I mean, since you made the transfer from the digital ones to the physical ones, how is the difference? Because music is very rhythm, and you need to be on point with the latencies and stuff. I can hardly imagine doing it like all those quick patterns and punching. I just the other days I watched videos from how is he called, James Hype or something. He's really like having 4 decks, and I can't imagine doing that on a virtual console. How was the transfer?
So actually, it was really quite easy for me because TribeXR, as good as it is, it's very, very, very good simulation. But there are a couple things that are not quite exactly the same. But even so, the switch over was seamless. I mean, within one day, I knew every single button, what it did, and those tiny little quirks were just, I mean, it wasn't a big deal. So the biggest difference, obviously, is being able to feel the decks and touch them. But for me, as somebody who learned in virtual reality, that wasn't necessarily a problem to begin with because that's natural to me. So the ability to actually grab and touch, like to hold a button when you're grabbing a knob instead of passing your hand through it and actually accidentally touching it, actually is a lot more seamless than it would seem. But I will say that people that have DJ'd for a long time, especially with vinyl, they're very, very touch sensitive and touch based. So learning how to use Tribe may be a little bit of a learning curve for them, but if there's somebody that's really passionate about VR, they're going to be super excited about it. Obviously, things like scratching and stuff are not necessarily quite as easy. I haven't accomplished that yet, but I haven't learned how to scratch in real life yet either. But I can only assume that, Ozan and the team are constantly working on new ways and new and innovative ways to make it feel more real. So, yeah, does that answer your question? I kind of went all over the place. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, who else do we have? Please come up here. Yes. Ultra funky slaves.
Don't seem to hear you yet.
I'll just say maybe while we get the audio sorted out that The system also has haptic feedback, so that when you do interact with the equipment, you get a little bit of haptics in your hand controllers, a little bit of buzzing and vibrating. It even emulates a little bit of the notch at the 12 o'clock position, so you feel a little bit of a snapping behavior. And did you get your audio sorted?
Yeah, I did.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, you hear me. Maybe being a little bit lazy, I'm going to ask a question like I have the PC version of the program, the Tribe, and I have the one for the headset for the Quest 2. And I know that there should be some differences. And I was wondering if you really quickly could like just tell me what the differences are between the two versions and where you're heading with the different versions on the PC. That's better with the PC, or what is going to be better with the Quest 2 if I run through the headset. That's my question. Thank you.
I think that's Ozan.
Yeah, I'm happy to dive in. So the main differences with the PC and the Quest are that on the PC version you have streaming features, so you have the ability to kind of combine Tribe with something like OBS to be able to stream to video streaming platforms like Twitch and YouTube, and so consequently it has a streaming window that allows you to connect with Twitch and be able to view your chat dynamically. So people that are watching you and are chatting on your channel, you're seeing all that input come into your Tribe session and be able to interact with your audience. And then there's secondary features that come from that, like when you are streaming to Twitch and people are chatting, they're able to control the room in interesting ways, like they're able to project visuals onto the back wall, they're able to res emotes into the room, make requests, things like that. That's the primary difference. There's a couple of other related features, but that's the primary difference. There's one new feature that we have in the PC Alpha that lets you use pro-grade visual system called Resolume, and we've built an emulation of a MIDI controller that allows you to drive a live session of Resolume, but it does require having the PC version. So that's the PC version. That all being said, honestly, the Quest has been kind of a runaway hit so far in the VR ecosystem, and we really want to optimize for the Quest experience. It's just the Quest is, albeit it's a magical device, what it can do with such limited resources, but there are limitations. It's got one audio device, and right now there isn't enough processing power to generate 2 render views, so we don't have the ability to create a spectator camera yet. Maybe we'll find ways of optimizing that. And then also, the streaming features. There's no like really easy way to stream directly from your Quest to these other platforms like Twitch and YouTube, only Facebook currently. So those are the limitations, and we're actively working on building cloud services so that from your Quest you can have PC, PC power, if you will. So that's a little bit the differences. Everything else is the same. The deck functionality is all the same, multiplayer all the same. If you want to jump in it's also crossplay. So if you're on a Quest, you can jump into somebody that has a Rift and take advantage of some of the PC features. Hopefully that answers your question.
All right. So.
Yep. Sorry, just to jump in here a second. Okay. Everyone, if everyone could be patient, because we can't get the participation tool working. And I can see Nico has had a question for a little while, but I think we've got people in several different instances. And obviously they're all coming up on stage and they can't see each other. So if you could just be patient, and we'll basically try to get to you one by one through the rooms. But I did see Nico had a question a while back, so sorry, mistaken. You probably can't see Nico. But Nico, if you want to approach the stage, that should make you visible, and then I can give you the mic if I find you yet. Can you get on the stage? There you go. Let me just give you. All right. Bear with me 2 seconds. This is awkward having to manually find names rather than just seeing it pop up.
One last thing about the virtual versus the real is the only limitation I've seen in VR is that you can only look at one thing at a time, essentially. Whereas in real life, you can be aware of something else by placing your hand on it. So like if you have your left hand on the play button left there, you can be looking in a completely opposite direction and still be connected. And know, okay, when this thing happens over here at what I'm looking at, I can click play without having to look at that thing. But in VR, that's just not
You know,
realistic because
it's
your hand's hovering, you know?
It's funny you say that because I've started to use Tribe so much that I think I do that sometimes. I've noticed like where I'm actually pressing the play button because
Wow, that's pretty
so
amazing.
natural at this point.
You have total spatial awareness that this height right here is exactly amazing.
Hey
Yeah. One question. Thank you for the talk. I really enjoy your parties and already purchased the Tribe XR. And I had a question: how do you mirror your character, your Tribe avatar to Allspace? Because
I'm
it
sorry.
seems like you are. Yeah, it seems you are like in two places at once, like in the Tribe XR and Allspace. How do you do that?
Yeah, so actually the way I do that is I open Tribe in Oculus and Altspace in Steam. So that way I can kind of hijack my headset with Steam VR and be able to switch on the Oculus menu between the two apps. So when I'm performing, most of the time I'm in Tribe, and sometimes people will come up to my face and I can't necessarily see them during that time, but then I can switch back to Altspace and I can do emojis and I can, give shout outs and things
Yeah.
like that, and so people can see and, feel that I'm really there.
So you can run Steam VR and other applications on Oculus at the same time. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's
Yep.
cool. Yeah.
And I do the same with Wave as well.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, right. I'll just unmute you there, mistaken. Oh, we have the hand raise feature is now available for some reason. It can be. So if you want to, yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Raise your hand. Okay, there we go. You should be able to speak now. Can you speak yet, mistaken? It's showing that you have the mic. This appears to be a bit buggy today. Bear with us.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so I actually had two questions now because of the last thing you said. Is that cool, or should I just do one question?
Yeah, that's fine. 2 questions is totally fine.
Yeah, so when you're using Steam simultaneously with Oculus, are you using a Quest or a Rift? Or you have Quest you have a link from Quest to your PC?
I'm using Rift CV1, but
Cool. Yeah, I've had some buggy issues with the Quest link, but I was just curious but you prefer using the Rift?
For sure.
When you're doing the simultaneous.
The secure connection definitely helps. I think the one thing with the Rift, the Quest link, is that it tends to kind of jiggle a little bit, and that can be a problem when you're moving around and DJing kind of actively.
It does do that. I've noticed.
Yeah, just making sure that it's really secure will probably help your experience a lot better.
Okay, cool. Second question was with the Resolume compatibility, using the visual mixer simultaneously with a DJ mixer. I don't have Trial. I'm definitely gonna get it. I didn't even know this was a thing until I walked in this room. But I DJ, and I was curious, is the space when you have a visual mixer, are you allowed to bring in your own visuals, like connected to from your PC, and mix them? What?
Yeah, I know. What? Mind blown.
Can you go into a little bit of the Resolume stuff that we've been working
I
on?
mean, just to say a word about like your own content, if you will. Certainly when we were building the product, we're again a startup entrepreneur, like we're trying to figure out what do people really want, what is the product, and you kind of talk with folks in the community and they immediately tell you what their priorities are. And the number one was, I want my own tracks, which isn't really obvious at first, but it's pretty obvious in hindsight. Like I don't care what sample tracks, you could give me 100, you could give me 1,000 sample tracks, I'm not interested in those. I want my own, because there's just everyone's got their own flavor and they want to do that. So that was like, let's let people bring in their own tracks. And then the other is my own visuals. And so with the PC version, you can, if you have Resolume, basically you can import all your visual packs within Resolume. And again, there's that virtual MIDI controller like you can use inside of VR. It's got the sliders and the knobs and everything that you would expect from like an APC MIDI controller. And you've got a monitor that you can see what is currently, and you can interact with it to drive Resolume. And consequently, Resolume, when it does it, it injects via NDI the visuals back into the room. So on the screen, you'll see all the visuals that you're driving. Then you can do more kind of creative stuff with it. So that's the integration.
Okay, cool. So there is one board that you have for the visuals, and I can have them up there with me as I'm mixing. I can also do my visuals.
Yeah, so you can be like mixing a track while this thing's cooking. You're like, hey, I'm going to trick out some visuals and throw in some different visuals and kind of tell a story. Our ultimate goal actually with that feature is to move more into a production type of experience where, DJ is Illuminatty is a perfect example again of it's not just about DJing, it's about being an artist in general and creating audio video experiences for a larger, larger crowd or a larger experience. And so anyway, that's that VJ controller is kind of step one, and then maybe over time we'll do more, and I'm happy to kind of talk and brainstorm about what the roadmap is, but anyway, that's its purpose.
That's generally the route that I'm going on is DJing while also being able to control my visuals live, because that's where I started first with visuals. But with Tribe, actually, I'll wait. If somebody wants to ask more questions, I'll come back up in a little bit.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you guys.
Raise your hand
this
again.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've got, is it Juan or Juan? It's either Juan or Juan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the J there. I'm just going to give you the mic now. Juan, is it Juan? Okay.
Yes.
I'm just going to give you the megaphone and put you on air now, if you want to approach the stage.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm from Mexico City, and as you can see, I don't think there's a lot of Mexicans here. And that's funny because there's a lot of movement in Mexico with the DJs. And I never heard about Tribe, as he said just now. I just heard about it. Sorry, I'm really nervous because English ain't my first language.
Oh,
sorry.
I'm nervous too, so it's okay. And English is my first language. Yeah.
The only question I really have is, how do I get with the Tribe family? Like, I want to be a DJ with you. Like, I want to play with the. That's the only thing I want. Like, right now with this pandemic, and we're really, how can I say it, lonely inside,
Mm-hmm.
And I've been a DJ for many years here in Mexico, and we really love to party, and something like this, it's crazy. Like, it's really good. It's the best thing I could have had ever, So how can I get in contact? How can I get more people involved with this? What can I do?
I think the best thing to do would be to join the Tribe Discord, honestly. There's just a wealth of amazing, helpful, loving people there, and they're always talking about Tribe, always wanting to back, and Ozan and I are always there, and you can add us as friends and ask us questions as well. But yeah, basically, if you want to be a member of the Tribe family, you are a member of the Tribe family. There's not really a very it's not a very exclusive sort of vibe. Like, everybody really supports each other and treats each other with respect.
Yeah, no, and I really want to get Mexican people involved with this. Even right here in Mexico, VR is not as common as you can think. I might be like a little weirdo with the VR right now, but maybe in some years we'll have like billion of people inside
there may
of
be
this.
more than you think. You never know. That's some of the
I
best parts
hope.
about
I
VR
really
is
hope.
that you can't really tell where people are from or what their story is. You just kind of see them for who they are right there in that moment.
I will say, on that note, actually, so we do have a resident DJ program where you can sign up to be a resident DJ, and we have a shared Twitch channel, and you can hop onto that, and that's kind of a good way of being part of the family and being part of the community. But during that process, we connected with a DJ from Mexico City named Dan Zam, who I don't know if you knew this, Illuminati, but he's just an awesome guy, and also he apparently is involved in doing events production in Mexico City, and jumped on the channel, was playing, and I honestly just sort of captured my heart with his style of music because it was different. There was just like these vibes that were influenced by local DJs and producers in Mexico that it made it different from all the other sets. And I loved it so much that I invited him to be part of that Beatport stream. And so he and I did a back-to-back session, and we're like, streaming on the Beatport channel, and there's like, I don't know, over 10,000 people watching, and it was cool. And he's based in Mexico City. That's one of the coolest things about VR in general is that it enables this global phenomena, and that combined with music, two people from around the world can be behind the decks. I'm in California, he's in Mexico City, we're DJing, and it was a cool experience. So.
Well, that's exactly what I want. Mexican people, well, Mexican DJs, exactly. We have another vibe, and I want to share that with the world. But right now, as we know, it's really difficult.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But not anymore. I mean,
not anymore. Thank you for everything, really.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, I think up next we have Game On. So Game On, if you want to come up, I'm just going to broadcast you. All right, there you go.
Hey,
you should have the mic now.
Oh, don't hear you.
Oh, we can't hear you just yet, but I did give you the microphone. Bear with 2 seconds. Hey, do you have an option to unmute yourself, Game On? We can't hear you, but you are on the megaphone. Yep, you do have the megaphone. You are on air. If you look to your left, can you unmute yourself? Oh, okay, let me switch it off. Let me switch it off and on again to see if that helps. That normally does something. I mean, he's disappeared there. Did a vanishing act.
Uh-oh.
Let's find him again. There you go. That worked. Yep, your megaphone is on, but for some reason that's not working.
Okay, how about now?
There we go.
Yeah, there he is.
Yay! Almost like a real hand clap. Anyway, I was saying thanks for putting this on. Really, you guys, everyone here, that's super awesome stuff. I guess my question is, Illuminatty, I was hoping you could talk a little bit about your production pipeline for creating different spaces and maybe a little bit more detail around that.
Okay, so when I got into Wave, I started to experiment a lot more with Blender just because there's certain limitations with Oculus Medium. Obviously, I really wanted to sculpt everything in VR, but found quickly that it's kind of harder to make VR ready environments in programs like that. So I started using Blender a lot more often to kind of create some of the shapes that I needed. And then I would bring those models into Tilt Brush, or I would, get some models from Sketchfab and kind of put them together in a way that I liked and edit them the way that I liked, and then put them in Tilt Brush. And what Tilt Brush does is it allows you to actually animate the lights to the beat of the music in places like Wave and also Neos. In AltSpace, I think that some people have figured out how to do that, and I'm really excited to see more Tilt Brush work in here. But as of right now, with AltSpace Worlds, I've only done one with Liam, and it was mostly, me kind of building a rough version of what I wanted in Blender, him taking that and making it into something really, professional and gorgeous, and then us working together while he put the lights together in Unity and things like that. So AltSpace is a little bit of a different pipeline, and Wave I make my own sort of thing, and I do my own thing because it's directly into the app. Sansar as well, they have their own app builder, their own system of bringing in models directly into the app and editing those models directly into the app. But with AltSpace and VR Chat, currently I think the best way to do it is Unity, which I'm still learning. So I hope to be making my own stuff in Unity soon and making a lot more worlds in here. That's the goal.
Oh, yeah, great. So just a curiosity around Unity, how are you using that? Are you using that to create some sort of executable? Or
well, so
I guess I don't
actually,
understand how it's connected to AltSpace.
AltSpace requires you to upload the worlds through Unity or to build them directly here in AltSpace using their world building tools. But if you want something like this, you have to upload it through Unity and through the AltSpace uploader, and same with VRChat.
Oh, interesting. Thanks. And Unreal, as far as you know, do they have sort of that same pipeline, or?
I don't think so. I think it's all Unity based. Yeah.
Thanks. Sorry to get more on the detail side, but
That's okay.
I'm right at this stage of all doing some of the building myself as well, and just any hints and tips that can make the pipeline smoother. Figure out as a pioneer, thanks for you guys going first.
Tribe is built on Unreal Engine, just so you know. So if there's any kind of affinity there, by all means, I would love to know actually how to optimize the pipeline to go from Unreal to Unity. So yeah, if you do kind of have some good ideas, I'd love to chat about it.
I will, if I come up with one, I will share it for sure.
Awesome.
Anyway,
thank
you
so
guys.
much.
That was it.
Thank you. Well, good luck with your world building.
Appreciate it.
I'm learning too, so
Yeah.
Yeah, don't give up. And
well, I'll find you guys on Discord, so appreciate
Sweet.
it.
Awesome.
Right. Sorry, I've just switched him off air, so he's also vanished. It was a bit mean doing that, actually. Right, we've got Ultra Funky. You've got another question, so I'm just going to put you on air if you want to come up.
Okay. Then I'm back. You hear me? Yep.
Yep.
More of a technical question. I'm using the Quest 2. Sometimes I connect through virtual desktop to my PC, and I want to run Tribe from there on the PC. But then I noticed that the controllers are recognized as Vive controllers. Is that a known problem, or is that something that I'm doing wrong?
That is interesting. That is a new bug. I've not heard of that. So you're saying you have a Quest 2. You use the link and you connect to, do you connect to the Oculus or to the Steam store? The Steam version?
The Steam version.
Ah, okay. Well, I think, yeah, in that context, that's expected behavior, I suppose. If there's some problems with the control mapping, then let me know. But I also recommend, trying the Oculus one. I can imagine if you have friends on Steam and you want to connect with them, then maybe that's problems with these, and we should support that for sure and make sure your controllers are working. But you can try the Oculus home version. It's cross-buy, so you automatically have the Rift version of Tribe, and the control mapping should be more predictable.
More predictable. Okay.
Yeah.
That was the only thing. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see who we have up next. I believe we have Mistaken. You've got another question. Just switch Ultra Funky off and switch you on.
Yeah, just you can hear me, right?
Yep.
And just 2 real quick questions. What was the Discord again?
Discord.gg/TribeXR. And you can also get it from the website, tribexr.com. There's a link to the Discord.
Okay, cool. And then second question, you said Tribe was built in Unreal, and then you transferred it to the AltSpace VR, or did you go from Unreal to Unity to? I guess the question doesn't make a lot of sense. You are talking about building your rig in Blender, and then. But the world,
just the world, not the actual decks themselves.
Oh, okay. I was confused because I was like, "What if you're because I'm getting basic, just spent the last semester learning Unity, and I've heard a lot of great things about Blender, but I didn't know if you're using it for a different purpose or for the same purpose that someone would use Unity."
I'm using Blender, think of it as like a nightclub, and then like the DJ and the DJ setup. So the Blender is used to create the nightclub and all of its decorations, and Tribe is the DJ setup and the DJ. So it's 2 separate kind of ways of being in VR, Tribe does not support uploading of 3D models right now, but it does support
Okay.
skin customization through Ozon. You can submit your skin, and it might be added to the store. So I have my own custom skin as well.
Very cool. So, Ozan, with the Unreal, so your experience in Unreal?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
Somewhat? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was just curious. Yeah, I guess I could just maybe message later. I feel like my questions are not very basic to
No, but go for it.
explain.
Well-
Okay, so with Unreal, are you what is this transfer process that you're taking? Are there tutorials that I can just look up, or is this like months and months of
It's a months and months of kind of thing, but the just to kind of give you like the bread box size of the thing. But yeah, I mean, I think the short answer is hit us up on Discord and we can talk through some of the various kind of flows. But yeah, it's built on Unreal Engine. Unreal and Unity are the two primary game engines in the ecosystem that I can think of. Unreal's amazing, and it's very hard to quantify the difference between the two because they do such similar things. But my sense of it is that with Unreal, you just get a lot of powerful lighting tools, and you get a lot of like physical based lighting, and it's just really awesome. It's also used at kind of AAA studios and in a film context, and that's a little bit why I gravitated towards it, because it's used at Lucas and so on. And it's got a great blueprint system for scripting experiences. There is no way that I know of right now of like seamlessly transferring stuff from Unreal to Unity. That's actually we're not able to do that. We kind of spoof a little bit by streaming 2D content from Unreal to Unity.
Okay.
Basically, was what's happening under the hood.
That's what I was curious about. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so next
Laroop?
up, Laroop, yep. Is Laroop coming up now?
Hello.
There we go.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yes.
Which one's the host again? You, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like.
He's the host of the entire party. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you're about like the DJ, right? Because I've been here and I was listening to this. It was about DJ, right? In VR. Yeah, because I do like a lot of stuff in real life, and I do like DJ stuff. I actually, in real life, I think the biggest person that I was with was Kanye at one of his things, and then also DJ Khaled. So I learned quite a lot of things.
Dang.
So I don't think it's like the exact same, but I think it's kind of similar, right? Like real life compared to VR.
Well, I would say so. I mean, I think that it's pretty damn close. Excuse my French, but except for the fact that you have some added abilities, like being able to DJ across the world with people and be right next to them. But you'd be surprised, before COVID started, I was shopping this idea around to lots of clubs in San Francisco. And even though certain club owners and, DJs and things, they piqued their interest for sure. At the time, they really just, I think that there's like a barrier of entry to becoming a DJ. You have all this expensive equipment. You have to get into the right club.
But
you would disagree?
Yeah, I think it depends on the person. Like for me, like there was no barrier. Like it just, but I'm different, so.
Yeah, maybe you're, it takes a certain level of confidence, a certain level of street smarts to kind of get to that position, but not everybody has that. So, some people are more shy, and some people are less confident about their skills, and they're still learning. So, in that way, the barrier of entry to actually becoming a club DJ is quite, it's very, it's a task. So, I think a lot of DJs kind of hold that close to their heart, and they're like, well, if somebody can just buy a $30 app and, like a little headset and learn how to do what what I know how to do, and and it took me this long to get here. Well, like maybe I don't know, I'd rather do this kind of thing, and maybe there's a little bit of cognitive dissonance that's happening, but I think soon people will get it, and once it translates to real life more often, once people see people learning on things like this and as a simulation, and then going and DJing real clubs, that will make a lot more sense.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be exactly the same. Like I think real life, like like big parties with like DJs will be much more like it's just different. Like VR, it's not the same like vibe, like not the same feeling. compared to real life. I don't know. I'm not really seen VR DJing, so I just, from what I just think, I've not seen it. I just think it wouldn't be.
Right.
I don't know. I've not experienced it, so I can't say. But
Well, at present moment, right now, part of the reason why we've tried to bring the parties to multiple spaces at one time is because of kind of the lack of being able to have 1,000 people, 1,000 bodies in one space, all
true.
talking and intermingling and having
Yeah.
a good time and having the DJ see all that actively in one space. But I think that the future, is near, and one day, there will be enough investment and respect placed into this sort of thing, especially with everything that's going on with COVID right now. People are really, flocking to these sorts of spaces and to have similar experiences to the ones that they had before. And, it might not completely replace the experience of going to a club and, dancing the night away and just like getting all sweaty and stuff. But it can be pretty close for certain people, and, they
Yeah.
can still do it from the comfort of their homes.
I guess so. I understand that. Yeah.
Well,
Did
and
you wanna
if
add
you
something?
haven't had the chance, to experience a VR DJ set, I just want to announce that in 45 minutes we will have Natasha here, and she will, actually run a set here in the basement. So for those of you
Okay.
who have
I
haven't
might
had
go
the
to that.
chance yet, please be back in 45 minutes.
Okay, great. Yeah, I just want to know your insight on that. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
Liam, do we have time for maybe 2 more questions?
Yeah,
Appreciate
let's
it.
see. We got a couple more people with questions. Let's just get them up now. So we've got Magma. You haven't had a question yet, so I'll just put you on now. There we go. Oh, we've got a lot of interference there, Magma, in the background.
Okay, one sec.
Okay.
The other thing too, while we get that sorted, is it's cool to contemplate some of the production, the abilities in VR. There's the real life experience, which you just cannot replace, the sweaty dance party kind of thing. But then there's also, in a digital platform, you can do so many other kind of, spectacle type of experiences. So to blend the two somehow would be a great outcome, I think.
Well, I think that's kind of where it's all been heading, and more and more people in alt space are getting on that tip, especially with the Burning Man that happened in here. I think that was an explosion of art and music that was just so good for alt space. And when I started in January doing these events, there was nothing like that at all, and now every night has a dance party. So it's really wonderful to see that people are really taking this seriously and appreciating it and contributing to it as well.
Sorry, Magma, you are still muted. I saw you coming over to me. I wasn't sure if you. There you go.
Hello,
there we go. We hear you now.
hello.
We hear you now. There you go. That's
Yeah,
better.
we hear you.
Awesome. Hey,
Much better.
so thank you guys for doing this. This is awesome. I'm kind of nervous too, being on stage, but this is awesome. Yeah. So one question regarding the name of the app, XR part. When will that be a reality? Because I come from a mobile DJ background, and I do like private corporate parties, like weddings, mitzvahs, and Christmas parties. But of course, that's kind of defunct now. And I'm wondering if XR feature would be a possibility down the road, like being able to flick a switch and see what's on the outside, and then come back to say and do the mix.
Yeah, it'd be cool to kind of hear more about I guess the way you define XR and what particular use cases you're imagining, and I get a sense of it from your comment that you would be out somewhere else, like at a club or an event of some kind. You'd be using virtual DJ equipment, but you'd be able to see your physical environment, and that way you blend, kind of a mixed reality kind of context. And so I guess our our goal is to, it's not just VR, it's XR, which means it could mean mixed reality, it could also mean augmented reality, and just be ready for that kind of stuff. I guess honestly, we haven't thought through the hardcore details of what the particular formulas are going to be, but to kind of state a little bit the obvious, with an augmented reality headset like a Magic Leap or a HoloLens, you can be in your physical space, but then project virtual content into the space. And so like on your table, you could have virtual equipment that you're interacting with, and it could be, the audio could be piped into the room. And I guess the thing that we're somewhat proud of, I suppose, is that the Tribe app is tailor-made for that experience just as much as it is for a virtual reality experience, because it's kind of based on that real life behavior that people already do. You'd have your physical equipment, but instead of having physical, in this case, you'd have virtual equipment, but it'd be the context of a physical space. Another variation on that is you have physical equipment, but you want to learn about that equipment. And so you might have a virtual mentor, because we have an educational track that in VR, you have a virtual mentor that can come in and show you how to use the app. You could have that in a augmented reality context too. So again, you have your physical equipment, but you have pop-ups that are explaining, hey, this is this controller and this is that controller, and this is the sequence for doing your base swap. Yeah. You could do that with a mobile phone too, I suppose, but it'd be more comfortable in an augmented reality headset. But then the multiplayer functionality is still there. So you can connect with somebody from around the world, a real life DJ or a DJ bot that is going to show you how to use your physical equipment. Those are a few of the kind of use cases that we want to extend to with XR. When we first started this, I don't know, a couple of years ago, we weren't sure exactly what the trajectory of Magic Leap was going to be. Like maybe it was going to catch fire, maybe it was going to become like they were going to solve some hardcore problems, and it would be a consumer-ready device. I guess that's been delayed for the foreseeable future. The HoloLens looks amazing, but it's super expensive and not consumer-ready. But we're just kind of keeping an eye on that and hoping it comes soon.
Okay, thanks for that. Can I ask a quick additional question? I guess a scenario based to clarify what I was trying to ask.
Cool.
Yeah. So imagine I'm at a live event, like I'm at a gig, in the real world, and I want to perform, say, like stream Tribe XR onto projector. I bring a lesser subset of my gear instead of bringing like the traditional DJ controller and all your speakers. All you do is just bring your VR set, maybe a mixer board and a projector. Would you think that would be a possibility into the future, doing something like that to be able to just stream directly and then have say the party do that?
I did that at a club, and I'll bring that video up again. I'll play it silently, but yeah, there was a within a few months of, unfortunately I can't fast forward, but in a moment you'll see me performing in a real club. There was a projector behind me. The laptop was plugged into a mixer, and then the mixer was plugged into the speakers, and it it functioned just like a normal DJ set would, except for without the equipment.
Okay, so how would you go about setting that up? Would you require a mixer in between, like, or does it just directly connect your PC output onto the speakers?
Well, you probably want something, because most laptops or computers, you probably want to bring a laptop to that type of experience, right? So it's not going to directly interface with like the 20 speakers that are set up around the space. So you probably want like something like a traditional mixer to just plug that input into.
Okay, that'll be awesome, because I can imagine maybe when COVID dies down in a couple of years, I don't know when. Let's be honest, we don't know when, but I want people to experience that aspect of VR when I bring gigs back into the real world, and that's awesome. Okay, awesome. Thanks for the question answers. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, we have time for one more. If you don't stepping off the stage instead of dabbing there. We have time for one more question. We're going to go for Tom. So Tom, just going to broadcast you now. Sorry, everyone else that had a question. There we go. Okay, broadcast is not working. Tom, are you here? Okay.
Is that Tom?
Well, it's not working actually. I'm trying to put Tom on air, but nothing is happening. Has he left the space? Tom may have left the space. Okay, so one more question. Who was after Tom? We've got Mistaken had one more question.
Well, maybe let's move on to somebody that hasn't asked a question yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, sorry,
Ultra
Mistaken.
Funky.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mistaken. We'll
Ultra Funky's Ultra Funky's had two as well. David hasn't
Magma?
had one yet. Magma's had one. David hasn't. There we go. David. There we go. Sorry, everyone. That has questions. We've only got time for one more question. David, where are you? Come on up.
You can always hit
have
up
to come up
us on.
to you.
Yeah.
Hit us up on Discord. Yeah.
Contact us if you have any.
You just got to unmute yourself, David. You should be able to, I've given you the megaphone. Just have a look to your bottom left. I'm not sure if there's a delay when I'm giving people the megaphone, but you do have it. Can you see down to your left? Does it still say muted? Can you control that mute button? And then you can dance. I'm aware you can dance. Okay. I'm not sure if David can get his mic working then, unfortunately. Well, to be fair, that's probably time now, because I think, Natasha, you've got to get ready, right?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
So back over to you, Thomas, sorry.
All right, so thank you very much again, Natasha. Thank you, Ozan, for taking the stage too. I already invited you, Ozan, maybe to one of our next X nights.
Yes, please.
In the upcoming month.
Yes, please.
And I thank you all very much for coming, for joining tonight. These are difficult times, and events like that, as I said in my intro, make it a little bit more easier to go through these times. But the night is not over yet. So please come back in 30 minutes when DJ Illuminatty is playing set here in the basement. So see you all there. Bye-bye. See you in a minute.
Yeah, just to let everyone know, it's a separate event, so you will have to join that event. But yeah, see you there, everyone.
Technically, you are right.
Yeah, technically, you'll get people staying here now. There'll be people waiting in here. Where is she?
Oh, okay.
When the event closes. But yeah, so you'll.
Alrighty. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, that was awkward. The participation. I can't even say it. Participation wasn't working. Oh yeah, I've got to unmute everyone. My bad. Let me just unmute everyone. There you go. Sorry about that.
Oh my god, my
Everyone
voice
is unmuted
is back.
now.
Wow.
There you go. You can speak.
Liberty. Hey,
Ozan,
I can
Ozan.
speak.
Yeah.
A few days.
I
Hi. I listened to what Rube said when she was there. She was like the difference between playing live and in the virtual world. And I was thinking like you compare that to thinking like this. When I started to play like 30 years ago, you know, you had to learn the tracks. You had free now with the waveforms and everything. But you really didn't. It was like playing a piano. You have to train all the way. You know, like play, test different tracks against each other. You know, and continue. So I always think like one thing you think of when you present things is like it's also for training. You know, if you sit on a train or an airplane, you can just put on your headset with a Quest, and then you can try out different tracks and mix. Very simple. So you never lose that. Do things before you do them live.
Yeah. Well, that was.
We never talk about it. We really never talk about it. Like, it's a
Yeah.
good tool to get the practice, even if you're a seasoned DJ or you have some new tracks. I remember when I got.
Yeah, no worries. I am going to try and eat something really quickly because I haven't eaten yet, but I'm going to eat and then I'll be in there.
Right. So I never hear
You're on the same boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be in fact, I'll teleport there now, so I'll see you over there.
And do some tests.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that. You know, like,
Yeah, no, I hear you loud and clear. And I mean, actually, that was one of our original reasons for starting Tribe is to teach people so they can learn how to DJ and they can also practice. So that's kind of our roots.
Yeah,
that volunteering?
Yeah.
but
And then
people,
No, I ain't
you always say learn, you say like you compare, but never the actual playing. You know, when you do it for yourself, because you
Mhm.
really do that. And